My name is Mrugakshee. I am a cryptocurrency and Bitcoin educator and advisor.
Where are you from?
I'm from India. I have been in Canada for 8 years. What did I think being an immigrant was going to be like? Honestly, it was Hollywood movies and sitcoms, because I'd grown up watching them and I thought, that's how life is in the West. It was a very, I would say, rosy picture, of course, but impractical picture as well of life here. Here life is, there's so many more colors and there's just so much more that cannot be captured in media. When I was immigrating here, I thought life was going to be like in the movies.
Do you feel like you have had better opportunities in Canada than you would have had at home?
For me, the kind of person that I am, what I like doing in my interests, I 100% have better opportunities and better access to opportunities here in Canada.
Is that because you're a female, or just strictly the field?
I don't think it's much to do with my field, except, cryptocurrency is currently under the scrutiny of a lot of banks in India. So yes, that kind of helps. But when I moved here, I didn't know I was going to do this. So that's when access to opportunity as a female was predominantly my reason for coming here and knowing that I was going to have more opportunity here. Yeah, it is. Canada has always felt like home. I feel like I'm home wherever I go because I adapt to my environment very quickly. So even if it was in Canada, I would feel like I was home no matter where I was. And now I just know so many people here, so it's a different kind of home, but home is where the heart is, and my heart is always with me. So it's always felt like home. Gratitude helps a lot, and being optimistic about what you have available instead of what you don't. And that doesn't mean you don't look for better options or better opportunities. It just means you make the best of what's around you. And that's definitely helped me feel at home wherever I am. I was making the best out of being in India, but I wanted a different lifestyle for myself. I had traveled to Canada before, and I'd traveled to many parts of the world before I moved, and I knew that I had different freedoms when I was in Canada, especially when I was in Canada. So I knew that I wanted to move out. And my entire family did too for a while, but with a family that has more family, it kind of gets hard to make that decision. So the moment I became an adult or had the ability to make a decision for myself, and I showed to my parents that I was prepared to move, I knew I was moving here. So my dad is an immigration consultant, and I have been his assistant, or I had been his assistant when I was there. I still am. So I was kind of absorbing business lingo and business lifestyle and all that from him. And I also was a violin teacher, because I started learning the violin when I was 9, and at the age of 14, my teacher's school grew really, really huge, so she needed some help. So I had been helping out, assisting her and teaching some students. And I was also in college. So I finished grade 12, or 12th standard as it is in India, and I needed to work for 1 more year to get better grades in order to apply to the universities that I did want to apply to in Canada. So I did 1 year of computer science in Pune in India, and then I transferred to a school here, university here. I don't think that I can say that there should be one thing, or I can't think of one thing that should be fixed per se, because then I would have to believe that something is broken. And, society, each and every element of society is chaotic in its own environment. And if you can learn to recognize that chaos, you can be the order while you live your life in that society. And that's what I believe. So I don't think I would change anything anywhere, because one, I know I can't. It's not, my opinions are not something that can be implemented or demanded in a society. But for two, I think that just people living together, forming society, is ever evolving. So we are not living in the same lifestyle and the same environment as we did just here 10 years ago, and we're not going to in 10 years. And there's a lot of people influencing the change that causes this environment to interact with one another, and I truly believe that that's what forms society. So I will do the best that I can wherever I am, and I know that that will in some way, shape, or form influence the society that I'm in. because I am a founder of a technology company, and I didn't want the fact that I'm a person of color and that I'm a female in a field that doesn't have a lot of either of those two categories of people. I didn't want that to be the sort of label that I carried with myself no matter what I did. So yes, there's definitely some occasions where I thought, oh, I wonder if this is the reason, but then I have learned to stop myself from thinking that is the reason, not take it personally, and just be the founder that I am for the technology that I love and the education that I love spreading, but not have it come from a place of scarcity or whatever that label brings with it. I definitely feel like I have access to more opportunity. I'm living in a way better environment. It just has access to so much stuff that my parents would not have access to, simply because of the feat of technology that we've experienced during my lifetime and my parents' lifetimes. So I actually look forward for them to experiencing it for longer periods of time when they are able to migrate here. But I'm so grateful that I'm here and I'm living here, and that, you know, it's immeasurable how different and how advanced in some ways living here is compared to living in India.
And what would you tell your younger self before moving here?
Buy more Bitcoin. It's not related to immigrating, because I love where I am today, and I wouldn't have gotten here had the things that happened in the past hadn't happened. So if I ever had the opportunity to speak to my younger self, I'd probably ask her to buy Bitcoin earlier or something silly like that. But I love where I am today, so I really don't think that I'd want to know where my life would be had my younger self known something else. Funny story. I graduated in May of 2018 with my degree in computer science and started my business in November of 2018. And that's the business that I still have right now. So I definitely made many mistakes along the way. There's no better way to learn than to just go and do something and then learn from your mistakes and then reiterate differently. So the reason why I wanted to start my business in the first place was I couldn't imagine having monotony in my work. And as a computer scientist, I had experience during one of my summer internships just doing the same thing, even if it was finding bugs or writing software, and all of that was very creative and exciting. But if that was the only thing I was doing 9 to 5, 5 days of the week, I knew that that wasn't for me, because I love wearing a lot of different hats and having different experiences and applying myself differently. So I couldn't imagine that I would make creative use of myself if I went on to work in the software industry. And that's when I knew that I wanted to do something in entrepreneurship. The timing just worked out that we started something, my co-founder and I started something in November of that year. And there was definitely lots of struggles, because my mom and sister love me a lot, but they encouraged me to get a job in the industry, get some industry experience, because that would help me. And I'm sure it would have, but my dad, who is a businessman, he supported me the entire way. And he said, the best way to learn something is learn by doing. And he encouraged me to start my business even though I had no business experience. He knew that I was entrepreneurial minded, and he encouraged me to make mistakes and learn from doing, learn by failing. And it was the core belief inside of me that I didn't want to do the same thing, and I wanted to apply myself in a different way is what led me to found my own business. You like this video, right? I know you did. And because you did, you're gonna like, share, and subscribe so that more people can watch it too and love it, just like you did.